The door just opens for everyone? Okay. The god of the underworld. Osiris, Hades, Pluto. Why do I have a feeling it's something more? Oh. It's just the door. Okay, so I think I need to use the oldest name. So, Nergal, the fierce one. Grant me an audience. Wait, what? No. Huh? What? It's weird. Oh, oops. Right, because yeah, I guess his Vayner wants to be called with all the names. Nope. No, it did open. It just needed me to step away from the door to actually load the prompt. That was weird. So cool. No, wait, is this right? Okay, so this next one is Osiris. And how big is this place? No. Wait, does it not work like that? Is that wrong? Feels weird to say the same name again. Thought there would be some hints in what to say. Would have made sense for these to come in order, but okay, let's go with Pluto next then. Okay, now that this happens, I don't know. Is it saying all the names, or I just show the wrong one? It was almost like saying all the names instead of saying the specifically hardest. No, there was something. Why? Okay, why was... Ah, because of the... Okay. Okay, so this this place looks whatever it is. This is Roman because of those and now we are in the Egyptian one. I need to say Osiris. Now it started to make sense. It didn't make any sense in that first room. Now it makes sense. And then Pluto is left, but no, but wait, no, wait, what? No, the Greek. Hades was Greek, of course. The last one is Pluto. Wait, what? Did I say Pluto to the first one? They are in the other order. Psh. Right. Whoa, hello. Oh, nice music. Let's do another hard save here. Of course, it was in the other order. What? Let's go. Oh, man. I had something strange in mind that something like this would happen, but yeah. Okay, who the hell is that?
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
Why are you in a space station overlooking the Earth? Or in other words, what's your story? Well, actually, what is this place?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
Okay. What was that wager?
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you, without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
Alright. Who are your kin?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina.
Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths, to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives, and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes here?
To ensure the wager was fair, it was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for, only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Proserpina's along with it.
How did humans learn about Underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning. And in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Ah, this is pretty cool. Such a cool idea for this. I have to break the fourth wall here a bit. Such a cool idea for this game to do it like this. Let's combine everything. This is so nice. Okay, move on.
Of course.
So yeah, what's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
You're a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
Interesting. Why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords: desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
Before I go for the true form, who is the woman on your left? And I wish I could turn the camera because I didn't pay attention to anyone on the left or right.
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians,
Thank you, game.
Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long.
Hey, buddy, no need to get jealous. Who is that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names. Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
Here's the thing. As Persephone has been whispering to me that I should free her, and now she whispered to me that I should not tell this one about her whispering. I feel like that's the... Yeah, well, we'll see where this goes, but let's keep on talking about the true form.
No. Long ago I swore to Proserpina that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
Okay.
As you wish.
Are you responsible for the Golden Rule?
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Can you please tell me all the rules? What do you consider sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with "do to the doer" to make him do. The Greeks refined it with "avoid doing what you would blame others for doing." The Roman Stoics added, "treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you." Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you." It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
Very curious. Doesn't seem you've been upholding it either. I have always lived my life that way. Yeah, it doesn't seem you've been upholding it.
Enough. You clearly know nothing.
Touchy, touchy. Where did all these golden bows come from?
When my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching, and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all, to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
How do you know when people sin?
I'm able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
No, why is this the only option? Is Proserpina connected to the statues in the same way?
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
She very specific... She very specifically asked me not to, and that's no reason.
Then what an odd question.
At least, this one is not a mind reader. So you're responsible of destroying all these lives.
I give your kind a second chance at life, as well as ample warning about my law. And when you disobey, and you always disobey, you force my hand, bringing terrible suffering upon yourselves. And so you ask if I am the one destroying your lives. And I say, no, you destroy yourselves. I am merely the means by which you do it.
I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let them happen?
Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Well, abduction?
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it. He did so because she sought to escape, a sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
Aren't you cheating in your own game? So the city would have to live 1 year in a sin, but he decides what's sin. And he has still been here for thousands of years. What a moron. He sets the rules to the game, and he sets them against himself. You're not very smart, are you? Yeah, I disagree with that.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
No. No. Fuck. Valid argument, sir. I'm right, and you know it.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You will make a fine statue.
Wait. That's... Wait, what? Not like this. What can I do with the normal bow? Okay, I want to do the normal bow.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
You may be mortal, but your beloved isn't.
How dare you threaten her? This ends now. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. You vile, despicable creature!
Wait, what? I need to do this again? Wait, what happens now? What happens now? What happens now? I broke her out. No. Why don't I listen to the instructions without you chat helping me? Thank you. Okay, I need to try that again. Fuck. I only got the first part. Is there autosave? There's no autosave. Ah! All I was thinking about was breaking her out. But then when she disappeared, I was like, okay, that's it. I tried.
And here you are. Allow me. No, and I've been watching you with. And what is that there will be.
You know
time
what kind of the
first.
underworld? I kind of have power over you because I can just reload this whole place. So you're really my bitch, you know. Anyway, about the golden rule.
That is merely the name your people have given to it, but
Sin.
no, this should agree. The Roman even it is yet. Enough.
Without holding it.
Do you plan to speak in
abduction?
He did better than.
I disagree.
Then your
Right, you know
desire,
it's-
you will make a.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I have.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, nope. See this act? Rewind time and show Pluto you have Proserpina's crown. Die. Jesus, this is hard. This is so hard. Flashlight will help. Oh, come on! Are you actually kidding me? I didn't save after. That is so stupidly hard. I tried to duck. But there's more. Fuck. Okay, I need to. If I can. Did I use all the options already? I think I did.
And here you are.
Oh come on! Why the game autosaves so often? So why doesn't the game autosave after this talk here? Okay, I used all the options here
That
already.
is merely the name.
Golden rule. I asked all those. Sin.
Egypt agreed. The Roman even it is yet. In.
I asked all about that.
Do you plan to speak in? He did better. Then you will. How? The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. Vile, despicable creature.
Come on, there's an invisible wall there. Okay, don't shoot me, 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 don't shoot me. Don't shoot me, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me, don't shoot me. Good. Loading. Zip line. Zip line, zip line, press the zip line. Now that I got out. No, don't shoot me. Zip line, zip line. Save here. Okay, I think I got out. Jeez, I didn't expect this. Wait, where am I? Why is Sentius in there? Why Sentius is not running to the portal? What the f... Sentius? What? What is this? Sentius, why are you stuck in here? What the... He was literally stuck. Wow. The game is not giving it easy. I do love the fact that he has to be here to do it. I also regenerated some health, so that went well. Oh, man. Wait, do I... We don't have the plugs anymore, so is the place to the temple open? And also, can we do all this stuff now?
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back?
We had such a good day with Galerius, and now we have to do it again.
Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening.
Okay.
Yulia?
Yeah.
Oh no. All right, I can do that. Poor
Rufius.
Virgil. Poor Rufius too, I guess. All right, got it. All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new... What?
I can't tell.
I'll go, but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Oh wait, can't I? Do I need to do the flower thing again? I don't know kind of what happens when this place ends. Like oh, that was good. That was good timing. I think I still have one flower in case we need it. Also, is the temple now just open? So everything resets, but the obelisk doesn't reset. Time. Can I hear different whispers? Can I find different whispers now? What statues were whispering to me before?
No time to explain. I'm supposed to give you the Sylphium resin.
Good guy galleries. Do it. No whispers. Some specific statues were whispering to me.
Thank you so
Shrine is about to collapse. I'm so good with the timing. Did it? Persuade the god of the underworld to abolish the golden rule. I may need to... oh. I need to explore that. Thanks for pointing that out, Scape. Now that we have seen what's going on, I need to hear what the guy has to say. Maybe that is there as an option if someone does what I was about to do and not take the crown. So then there's still an option there, so you don't have to do it like over and over again. So maybe the philosopher here has some mad tips for me how to handle the talk. There is a shrine that is in the verge of collapsing, and an assassin is lured into there. I lured an assassin there. Originally, one of the citizens actually died under it, but I
Come and
figured out
join
how
me by the fire.
Figured out how to stop it. Okay. Okay, Mr. Philosopher, I need your help.
Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
We've had this discussion before. You're going to explain that the exertion of power required to create utopia will always result in tyranny.
I was indeed, but we've never met before, have we? I'm sure I would have remembered. Blessed Lissa, am I losing my memory?
Yeah, I didn't expect to go over 6 hours in just this game, but I've been loving it. I will see when we get to the end, because I have nothing else to do here, so I might take just a long break and then play Bannerlord, but let's see when I finish this. I'm caught in a time loop.
Oh, that's a relief. For a moment, I thought it was I who was touched by madness.
How would you persuade the god of the underworld to abolish the golden rule?
I assume you're asking me this as some kind of amusing hypothetical?
No, I met him. I wasn't able to persuade him. I'm going to try again.
Extraordinary. Then let me see if I can help you. I suppose first I'd want to gather information. I'd want to know about his reasons for imposing the Golden Rule and what he considers a sin. If I could expose some internal inconsistency in his reasoning, some degree of hypocrisy, I might be able to compel him to change his position. But as a philosopher, the saddest truth I ever learned is that all but the most enlightened opponents are more easily swayed by appeals to emotion than by reason. So the easiest path would be to find his emotional susceptibility and exploit it. If he was vain, I might try to flatter him. If he was merciful, I would try to evoke pity. As a last resort, I might figure out what he fears losing above all else, and, if I could, threaten to take it away. Though, of course, that could easily go awry. Now, go quickly while my words are still fresh in your memory.
Nice. Good man. Good man. So we already know what he fears. Losing the loved one. Yeah, we will talk about the sins. Unless the game kind of because I have the crown, if that's the only option the game offers, then of course we have to take that. But let's see. Oh yeah, his name was changed into Hermit Philosopher already while I was talking to him, but he refused to give me his name. It is interesting. Like, would there have been an option to? Would there have been an option to ask his name again there? Okay, where is Galerius now? Galerius is there, freeing that stuff.
Yes, that ought to do it. I guess I'll go and tell Orpheus the good news then.
Citizen,
Is that philosopher Diogenes?
debt.
I don't know who that is. Your
Are you
your
messing
guess
with me?
idea is as
I
good as
wouldn't do
mine.
that. You're both free.
We're
You just
We're
ordered some
free.
pizzas. I think I will order some
We're
pizza
free.
after this.
Thank you. It seems fortune smiles on us after all. I'd better go and pay a visit to Yulia immediately.
So I'm just doing this so in case things end here, Galerius and Equitia can have their love.
I'm so glad you didn't go through with it.
It wasn't for lack of trying.
These dialogues take place in order.
What? How?
So there's like
Galerius arranged it somehow.
one script running
Really?
at the same time.
That's
So
incredible.
this is the script running
Oh.
now.
What a relief.
Breaking
I don't know
the
what to
fourth wall
say.
here a little bit, but
You don't need to say anything.
this is going on now.
Just rest
After
up,
this,
get your strength
Domitius will go talk to
We'll
Equitia,
celebrate properly when you're
and then
ready.
Equitia
I
will
will.
come to say that
Thank you,
election
Albius.
has
I
changed.
will.
Now that they moved there,
Welcome.
Domitius starts to move now. No, wait, what are you doing?
Yes? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I've made a decision to withdraw from the election. I want you to go and inform Equitia.
Sir? Are you under duress, sir?
And while all this is happening, Galerius is just waiting there.
But you were on track to be magistrate, sir. All that work, all that money wasted.
Those are my orders. Carry them out.
As you wish, sir.
Yeah, I don't need to do this, but if this is the last day, I want to have everything in order.
Priestess, Malleolus has decided to withdraw from the election.
Oh, well, that's surprising. But thank you for telling me. I'll let everyone know.
What culture they're planning on Bannerlord? I will decide on the spots.
Citizens, I have an announcement. Malleolus has withdrawn his candidacy from today's election. Unless any new challengers are nominated by nightfall, Sentius will be re-elected magistrate by default.
Actually, I'd like to nominate myself, if that's all right.
Of course, Galerius, that's your right. Citizens, the election will proceed.
Salve again, friend. I went and did as you asked, and it worked. How is it possible that you've just arrived here and you already know everyone
Equitia,
and
you're a
exactly what's
little
about
bit
to
on the
happen?
way.
You're a bit like Sisyphus. Sisyphus, he was forced Tantal. Oh, and anyway, so and now I'm and if our
Have I played Bannerlord at all during early access? I played it on after the release 2.5 years ago, was it? Yes. For about 2 months, almost nothing but then I stopped playing and waited for the release.
Salve again, my Sisyphean. Now,
What the hell?
all right,
It's-
friend.
Oh, wait, what? Can't we not do that quest now because because we finished the quest we can't get the nice love dialogue anymore? Can I just tell Equitia that? About the flower?
A new face.
Oh, I can talk about Oh, new dialogue. I found my way into the Great Temple.
You did? I'm impressed. What did you find in there?
A Roman temple leads to a Greek temple, which leads to an Egyptian temple, which leads to a Sumerian temple, which leads to the god of the underworld.
Wait, what? Sumerian? As in east of the Euphrates, where Babylon is? Let me see if I understand you. Our ancestors built over the Greeks' temple, copied their religion, and changed their god's name from Hades to Pluto. But the Greeks had done much the same thing to the Egyptians, and the Egyptians had done the same things to the Sumerians before them. If that's true, then I've spent my whole life serving a goddess who may well have been a copy of a copy of a copy. It's no wonder I never felt like my prayers to Vesta were answered. All that time. Who was I even talking to? Did I even know her name?
The guard within the temple seems he's the last one. The rest were here once, but they moved on.
I see. That is a lot to take in. I think I would like to be alone now, if you don't mind.
I'm not sure if this was a nice thing to actually reveal to her, but yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's just go talk to the guard. I don't think I need to mess up with these people's lives anymore.
Salve.
Galerius loves her. She loves Galerius. They will find that out eventually. Just gave her an existential crisis indeed. Team time travel saves the day. I don't know about that. Oh man.
I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Oh well, that is true. Kind of are her vows really vows? Because there was actually no one to take those vows, so she can just marry Corellius right away. Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this. Wait, I did say Nergal here, but shouldn't this be Pluto? Okay. That first room like weirded me out. Oh yeah, okay, so it was a bug on the first. That's what confused me, because it bugged out the first door. I only said Nergal and it's opened. That's what confused me, because I thought that was the right thing to say in the first one. Oh, oops. Sorry, my bad. Let's do another hard save here. Although I think the quick save in this game actually creates separate saves. It's not using one single. So there's actually like a lot of saves here. So it's always a separate save, which is kinda nice. But I don't think there's even a limit for that. So this might have generated like 100 saves over this playthrough. Okay, let's try to win the game. Let's try to win the game.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names.
What is interesting is that kind of
Osiris to the Egyptians,
the whole
Hades
time
to the
travel
Greeks,
thing.
and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. And what is more, that there will be first.
Okay, so I could go directly to that, but I think that's a little boring. So let's go for the talk.
That is merely the
option
name your
first.
people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing. Do you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example?
Okay, so we talked about the abduction already. Let's go with suicide.
I've seen no such thing, but in any case, taking one's own life is a self-directed act. It is not one that is done to others, however they may be affected by it. Therefore, it cannot be said that one who commits suicide has done anything unto others.
Alright, because on this time loop, no one committed suicide, and this guy has no idea we are time traveling. That seems like an extremely literal interpretation of the rule.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
If our language is full of ambiguity, doesn't that make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable?
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
No, of course not.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Scam.
Ah, the tavern keeper, yes? How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want someone else to sell her hemlock if she thought she was buying a means of escape.
I disagree. Having watched that tavern keeper, that is precisely what she would expect from others. She would view it as a game, one she intends to win.
You can't know what she would expect, you just speculate.
Applying this rule always requires speculation to some degree. It requires us to ask what another person would want if they found themselves in another situation.
Doesn't that make it unreliable?
Not if we're wise enough to know the mind of man.
And you think you know the minds of other people?
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
Nope.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Let's actually go with the abduction dialogue.
Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it? He did so because she sought to escape. A sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, there's actually no arguments here, that's why. Okay. Alright.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Yeah, let's talk about the debts.
You speak of the moneylender. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
He wouldn't want to be trapped in a 30-year labor contract because of loan.
And he would never have signed a contract pledging his labor for 30 years. All he did was enforce the terms of a contract signed voluntarily by others.
Whole concept of debt bondage, like slavery, is unethical. It's illegal under international law where I'm from.
Ignoring your irritating sense of moral superiority. This is interesting. I'm curious, how do people escape poverty where you're from?
It's customary to take out loan to buy a house, and in some places to pay for an education.
I see. And how long might it take such a person to repay their debt?
Decades, sometimes their entire life.
I fail to see how your system of loans is significantly different to a debt bondsman signing over his labor for 30 years.
It's not the same thing.
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately.
Nope, still nope.
Now tell me.
Okay. It's no wonder people say the gods are cruel. This just shows how unreliable and subjective your moral code is. You're no better at judging right from wrong than any human.
Do you honestly think you could do better?
No, but that's my point. Nobody's grasp of right or wrong is so perfect they can be trusted with all this power. You've become a tyrant. Is that what I want to say? Yeah, I think that's what I want to say.
I should strike you down for that.
And if you did, you'd be proving my points.
Now, did you have any other questions before your reckoning?
Okay.
Very well.
So I could... So I could just give the crown or go to the end and then do whatever talks we have. I don't know what happens here, actually. I kind of want to also see what happens there. Oh, this is tough. I went through so much trouble to actually get the crown. But I'm giving the crown. I will see if I load for that option, if it's that interesting.
I would recognize that anywhere, and yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
Because I am more powerful than you. I took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
I could do this all day. I didn't want to kill her, but if you don't put an end to the golden rule, I will do it again.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone.
Oh, what it's going to be.
I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Proserpina was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this, if I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
I'm not sure if we want to go there. Just want to return to the world.
Very well. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why? Don't make me kill her again. Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
So again, well, a different kind of different kind of
hi there.
Al
Getting
ending.
me a bit of afraid. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Alworth, I came in here to find you.
Well, here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Zemalf.
Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet.
Oh, really?
Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook, and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him, and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
That was me. These Romans are crazy. Oh, I have to go with the that was me and see what Al says.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
Okay. In this ending, what happens to Scintilla? Why does Al's hair look different in there?
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Alright.
You go on ahead, and I'll be there soon.
So I guess this ending is mostly the same that we had before. As far as talking to Karen here. Who is Karen? Is Karen a similar being to that god?
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. He'll be here in a moment.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
As the last thing here, it would be so cool if there was like a fourth wall breaking comments here, that we've had this discussion before in another timeline, meaning in a different save file. I discovered your real name.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well, now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Yeah, we had this discussion in the ending number 2.
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned. from 5,000 years of experience. That most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
Was Al worth it? Of course, Al saved my life.
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
Wouldn't Karen already know you because she was present in the temple next to the god? That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Yeah. We do want to know because Al saved us and we want to hear that story again.
As you wish. You were murdered. You were exploring an old tomb when you discovered a cache of forgotten relics, including 2 silver coins of ancient origin. Unfortunately, as you emerged into daylight, you were set upon by 2 thieves. A nearby hiker saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid, trying to help you recover your bounty. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Karen's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here.
What's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
This dialogue is exactly the same as it was when we hadn't met the god of underworld, and this is all exactly the same.
That is a question you would have to ask him, if that were still possible. In light of the path you have chosen, I am just his servant, doing his bidding. Only now, I find myself bereft of purpose. You see, the coins on you and Al were the last of the 1,000 in existence. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
Yeah, that is true. In this time loop, I didn't ask about it, but Karen was still there. Can you return us to the land of the living?
I see no point in keeping you here, but I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now! Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story, and I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
I'm very curious, what happens to her after this? This is her last thing. This is the last thing she does. Ferries us back. Will she go to Elysium after this? Maybe that's just something we will never know. And we'll just hope for the best. Ferry us home, Karen. Oh! There's more! What is this? What is this? What is this? Save. It's a different thing. Where are we? Is that Al? Ancient Rome, ancient Greece, ancient Egypt, Sumer. Did Al put up a show? I mean, exhibition?
Hey, you made it. It's great to see you again. I read your book, and what the critics said about it. I guess
wrote
they
a
weren't
book.
ready for your theories about the underworld. Anyway, after everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius's tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Maybe Al is the true god? An ancient Roman statue of an unknown man in an inscrutable pose. One hand seemed to welcome, the other hand warns.
You're finally here. Remember me?
What are you doing here, Galerius?
It's a crazy story. After you disappeared, Charon appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
Are you with Equitia now?
I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together. We're planning to get married next spring. If you're gonna be around,
That's
I'd love
all I
to see you
wanted.
there.
This is the only thing I wanted from this game. I'd love that Galerius counts me in. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Oh, I used Charon's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
It's good to see you again, Galerius.
Of course, there's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
No, then everything that is happening here is based on my last day, and I barely talked to anyone on that day, so this is kind of weird.
You're here. It's so wonderful to see you again.
Good to see you too.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing.
Yes.
Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
Oh, spare me the details. What are you doing with yourself?
Galerius and I
these
are
days?
engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, And Dooley too, of course.
Of course.
It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us. For all of us.
This is at the same time cool, but also a little bit weird. Like, for the 1 year, this character has been just writing a book, and these guys have been alive, and he didn't know about it. How's Livia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
Sure, I'll do that. Good to see you again.
See you at the wedding, I hope.
So yeah, as said, these two are more or less the only persons I talked to on the last day. No one else actually knows me.
Oh, hello. Hello, I'm Dooley.
Hi, I remember who you are.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
I'm sorry you never found your treasure.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories. It's my favourite thing.
I like those kind of boxes as well, Dooley.
Yeah, they're fun.
What are you doing, Dooley, these days?
I live at Galerius and Equitia's house. They
Nice,
look after
well
me
said.
now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
It's good to see you again, Dooley.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, oh this is so cool.
You're the Oracle,
there.
right?
Zemalf is fine.
Oh, of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
How? I'm just my mind is just exploding how these discussions could go differently here, depending on what happens. What's happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
I think you're allowed to feel that way.
Thank you. You're very kind.
What are you doing these days?
Oh, I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
As I was after yesterday's session, I took a quick glance on the achievements of this game. There's an achievement that for finishing this game in a single time loop. So basically, not doing any loop, but finishing the game on the day you arrive. And in that kind of case, you would do everything, and kind of Galerius would not be the hero of them all in a way. Seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
What happened to Aurelia?
Ugh, someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
Something tells me she's going to get what she deserves. The other option is as well, I foresee terrible disappointment in her future.
Really? Huh. I feel better already. Thank you.
It's good to see you.
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
It must be weird after leaving with 20. For so long. I'll take you up on that, Julia.
I hope so.
You are here. It's nice to finally meet you.
Yes. Hey, Lucretia.
Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So...
Right, not so many options here. What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
Sounds good, Lucy. It's good to see you.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
Hey.
Wait, how did Horatius get into armor this fast?
Evening. Hi there, I'm Horatius.
I know her. I know. Hi.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life. And reuniting Centilla with us as well.
Wait, Centilla is alive?
Thank you.
Is Centilla with Ulpius? I'm sorry you never got to see your girl again.
Ah, you remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time. But that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said, Horatius.
Thanks.
What are you doing these days?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
War never changes. What happened to Domitius?
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC. So he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to
These
people's
backstories
basic
are so
instincts.
good.
And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out. And his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
Sounds like he got what he deserved, or wanted in a way.
You're not wrong.
It's good to see you, Horatius.
And you. Farewell.
Let's see if she turned any friendlier in these times.
I take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you again, Cynthia.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
What's happened to your father?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
Wow. Wow. He did once tell me he wanted to live forever.
Then I suppose he got his wish.
Jeez. Wow. To be honest, I don't wish that even for the worst enemy, so that's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. In a way, satisfying, but horrible. So what are you doing these days, Cynthia? I like that this changed into Cynthia as well.
Anything I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
Servant Alexa. I love this. Is so good. I love this. This is so good. So good.
You too. See you around.
My servant's Alexa summoning things. Oh man. Oh! Do we get to learn the name?
And here you are. It's wonderful to see you again.
Well, it is indeed, whoever you are.
Oh, and by the way, I go by Philip now. A fine Greek name. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
Yes. Why can't I ask what was your name back then? Philip. Do you still think Utopia is out of reach?
Aha, you remember that. I have to admit, I've been profoundly impressed by the advances humans have made these past 2 millennia. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous modern medicines, and a series of prosperous democracies. Your contemporaries have come further toward utopia than I ever thought possible, though there's still a way to go.
Agreed. Well, actually, let's go with we'll get there one day.
I hope so.
So what are you doing these days, Philip?
I'm working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
Sounds good.
My sincere thanks once again.
Sounds good.
Magnificent museum, is it not? Greetings. You must be the
Look at the
legendary
tan.
Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius.
Don't you mean Georgios?
I am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that I am most grateful.
What are you doing these days, Georgios?
I am reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
I will do that, Georgios. It's good to see you.
You too, my friend.
The one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
I know.
I wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here, with you and everyone, together again, even if it's just for one more night.
What are you doing these days? Are you still a baker?
Well, it's not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
Sounds like a life well spent, Fabia.
Oh, it really is.
It actually sounds a lot what I do. Well, I actually have to work for a living. It's good to see you.
You too.
And I don't have that many pairs of yoga pants.
Some soiree, innit? Oh, hello at last.
Man.
You must be the oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius.
Oh, man.
Listen, I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess that's... yeah. It was entirely unintended.
Such acerbic wit. I love it.
So what are you doing these days?
I took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the oracle and future seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
I can't really see the future, I'm afraid. What options?
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
DVD rentals, broadcast television. I hear print media is going to make a huge comeback. Actually, let's go for the DVD rentals.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm going to make a bloody fortune.
Alright, Decius.
Of course, don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
You're welcome.
Good evening.
Oh, hey, Livia.
Oh, hello. It's lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
It's good to see you too, Octavia.
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
So what are you doing these days?
I'm living in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. Not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life helping people, like you helped him.
That sounds good. That sounds really good. Octavia?
Thank you. That means a lot.
It's good to see you.
And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Yeah, I'll come for a drink.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
Hei te, Koma.
Greetings.
It's good to see you looking well, Livia.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What are you doing in this place, then?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
Have you read any good poems lately?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Perhaps you're right, Livia. And it was good to see you.
And you. Farewell, friend.
This is like a really good end, like really good way to end this game. I'm not there yet, but this is like a this feels very satisfying way to end it.
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
Thanks, Kabosh.
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle. You know many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place, and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
So what are you doing these days?
For a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Sounds like you heard it, Kabosh.
Indeed.
And it was good to see you.
Thank you, Oracle.
Oh, is that Virgil and Rufus together? I knew it. I knew it. So good.
Hi.
Oh, it's Scintilla.
Hello there.
Hello, Scintilla. I'm sorry I left you there. Captured.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off,
Immediately changed into
Zerbina
Gabriella.
came and
Love
released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
Meaning the dialogue immediately changed into Gabrielle. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
Don't worry. Nobody did.
Actually, I did. Oof. Sorry. So what are you doing these days?
I'm living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I might just do that. It was good to see you, Gabriella.
Thanks. You too.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
Good to see you, Ulpius.
I understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake, I'll be forever in your debt.
Yeah, a little bit of inconsistencies with the dialogue, but I'll forgive this game for that. This is fantastic. So what are you doing these days, Ulpius? All good with Gabriella?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
Sounds good, Ulpius. I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
It's good to see you.
You too.
Evening.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
It's good to see you, Virgil.
I wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
So what are you doing these days? Together with Rufus?
I'm studying to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
Ah, it was good to see you, Virgil.
You too. If you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
Oh, I have places to go. I may just take you up on that.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you, Rufus.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
It's alright, Rufus. What are you doing these days?
I live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt itself. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
Yeah, it's good to see you, Rufus. To see you doing alright.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
Was that everyone? That was everyone. Even this place is just some of these things are there's the creek block. Man. Wait, what? Why is there a dice tower here? Designed to stop people from cheating when rolling dice. Clearly cheating must be a problem. I guess... Was it actually a Roman invention? I was like... It felt so modern, but here we are. The music has been great in this game, like... Wow. Well done. Well done with this game. Oh.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that.
I did, Al. That was all worth it.
I think you know her.
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
Wait, she's what's her Roman name? Persephone.
Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
Ooh, we can ask a lot of things. You were whispering to me all along?
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could. Thank you. You created the time loop?
I did. I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier, he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We were all fortunate you came along when you did.
What became of Pluto?
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
What about Karen?
Oh, she inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
Okay. So Karen became the god of the underworld after Pluto left? Okay, sure. Didn't see that coming. It's nice meeting you, Proserpina.
And you. Although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city?
Wait, is that the sound I'm hearing on my left? All those people?
Good, because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld in return, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Well, that was an ending. That was an ending. Ending of all endings. Wow. Wow. That was a way to end the game. Just overall, okay, and one more time, Nick Beers, amazing job with what that was originally Skyrim mod that I think he created himself, and then Alexander and John here came along for the standalone. I'm not 100% sure on that, but what a game, what a game, and what a way to end the game, to leave you on that beautiful, satisfying feeling of finishing the game. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing game. And I do love that there are the photos of the voices as well. That is really nice. That should be done more often. Highlight those fantastic voices that were in the game. Because the voice acting was amazing across the board. Really good. Kyrgios's actor, at least based on the name, was actually a Greek. I wonder how much he overdid the accent there. But yeah, this should be done more often. Give a face to the voice. I actually like the game. The game does well even in the end credits. Job. I kinda fell asleep after you threatened Pluto and woke up 20 minutes ago. Need to watch the part I missed. No worries. No worries. And it's just the game this amazing. Kind of it is just I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that this was a Skyrim mod. Because obviously I haven't played the mod, so I don't know kind of how much they added or refined it for this standalone game. But just the whole concept and the idea of the game is just like so good. So good. So good. And I'm so happy to see Galerius and Iquitia together. That was the best thing. Just on this, like, just overall, let's say, writing of this whole thing was just beautiful, and then kind of the execution, for the most part, was really good. But there was just the idea, the writing, dialogue, everything was just good. So it's really nice to see kind of someone who put their hearts into the mod to also get that realized as kind of a final version of their vision in a game like this. So that's fantastic. Yeah, this was not, the game was not exactly what I expected it to be. There were moments where I wished the game was more about doing that kind of detective work and deduction, figuring things out as it was in the, say, Return of Obra Dinn, instead of just kind of going and clicking the right persons and talking to them. But this was so well done that in the end it didn't really matter. That was something, obviously, this was not quite what I expected in the beginning, but in many ways it was actually still more than what I expected. Well done. 5 out of 5. Amazing game. I hope and I look forward to what the same creator, same writer does in the future. Because if he has any other as good ideas as this, that will be exciting to see. We hope you enjoyed The Forgotten City. We'd love to make even better games in the future, and you can help out by recommending The Forgotten City to a friend or writing a review. The more people play our games, the more we can level up. And if you'd like to be the first to know when we announce the next project, please connect us with us here. Well, I sure will do that after this. And for any one of you who watched this and have not played the game, I'd say buy the game. You can play it yourself, but even if you don't play it, buy the game. Support the developer. This was fantastic. This was absolutely amazing. So, with all of that, I thank you for watching this blind playthrough of The Forgotten City. I've been Zemalf, and I hope all of you a wonderful day, weekend, wherever you are. And until next time, take care, bye bye.